Okay, so today we are going to start The Rat Trap, which is written by Selma Lagerlöf. It talks about the essential goodness in a human being that can be awakened through understanding and love. Look at the beautiful message that this chapter is going to provide you. So, Selma talks about the rat trap seller, okay, who just roams around in the streets, and she would like to give a message that essential goodness in every human being. We must realize that all of us, as you all know, and I think we have discussed earlier also, all of us are born with essential goodness. We are born with all the virtues that God has sent us with here, but sometimes over the period of time, coming in contact with some people who are not very good in behavior, we actually overlap ourselves with some vices. So, with the good behavior, with better understanding, and showing the essential love to everyone, the basic nature, the basic goodness of any human being can be awakened. You remember one story by this the it was the bishop's candlesticks. You remember the story?
Yes, ma'am.
There was a bishop who actually converted, or you can say transformed the life of a convict who actually came to steal those silver candlesticks from him. Do you remember the story? I think you read it in 10.
Yes, ma'am.
Yes. And what happens
Yes,
when
ma'am.
when the cops caught him and they brought him there to him? He says that these are the candlesticks which I gifted him. He said that they were not stolen. I gifted them. But on the contrary, these were the only candlesticks, the only precious thing that he had, which he actually saved for the marriage of his sister. But seeing his behavior, convict was really transformed, really felt good, and then he, was changed from within. So his essential goodness was awakened. So this, the message that we get that no human being is born as a thief. It's just that because of some circumstances, the human beings are, sometimes become or adopt the wrong way, which can be changed by showing love and affection, okay, and true understanding. So that's what we are going to, this message also we are going to get through this chapter, the rat trap. Now let's see about Selma Lagerlöf. It's a picture. She was a Swedish writer, first female writer to win the Nobel Prize in Literature in 1909. Now we talk about the red trap seller. As I told you, you can see in the picture also, he is obviously very poverty stricken. He wears clothes which are in rags. Okay, sunken cheeks. The cheeks have gone in because he doesn't get meal every time. Okay, he is quite hungry and with red eyes. Hunger gleamed in his eyes. So the eyes show the hunger in his eyes. And how does he manage? He sometimes beg and sometimes, even go for petty thievery. So he steals also at times. Okay, so that's what he does. And then he makes and sells rat traps. So that's what is his work. Okay, AKA is an abbreviation actually, which is known as, so aka when we use, that means that sometimes it is also known as AKA. Okay, so used to indicate another name that a person or thing has or uses. So rat trap seller is also known as tramp, is also known as vagabond, is also known as stranger, and is also known as peddler. So in the whole story, if you read the text, he has been named by different names. Okay, he has been uh, I mean talked about by using different names. So tramp, one who roams, one he just moves around. Similarly, vagabond, moving without a purpose at times. Stranger, a peddler who walks along. So these are the names that are used for the rat trap seller. Now see, These are the unwanted joy of rat trap seller. Entertaining thoughts. So what happens? Sometimes, he just roams around and he says that, a very philosophical idea comes to his mind once he was just roaming around and he thought the world to be a big rat trap, and he says the whole land and the seas and cities and villages, they are just like a big rat trap. And he says all the riches in this, all the joys, all the shelter, all the food, all peace, all heat, all these things are actually the baits. Bait, you understand, is a kind of food that we offer to fish when we go fishing. When we go for fishing, we offer a bait, there, and then the fish is actually caught. Yes, so the bait is something that is used to tempt the fish or the other, subtype in rat trap. Also, we, those who are using, I do not know whether you people are using rat traps these days. Have you ever seen rat traps? Have you seen rat traps?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes. So what do we use? We use a bait in it. Sometimes a piece of cheese, or sometimes a piece of chapati, or sometimes a small piece of onion, in order to catch the rat in that. So what happens? We just attach the bait to it, and it is connected with a kind of the needle or something. What happens when the rat comes closer to it? It touches the food, and what happens? The door of the rat trap gets closed. Okay. So what happens? The rat gets trapped. Similarly, he says that all these riches and the joys and the shelter and food and heat, all these things are basically the traps, the baits for the common people who do not have an access to all these. Those who are able to afford it, for them there is no problem. Those who are not able to afford, it's a kind of bait for them. And suppose somebody tries to go and touch it, or maybe go and steal it, then what happens? They get caught. So he says that the big word is a big rat trap, and these things are baits for the people like rat trap seller, who are actually devoid of all these things, who want all these things, and sometimes when they feel like snatching it or stealing it, they get caught. What happens while walking? One day he gets into the house of a crofter. Now look at the picture of a crofter. A crofter was somebody. If somebody can read it, please. Himanshi, you read. Himanshi.
I'm lonely
No,
without
no.
wife or
Who's a
children.
who's a crofter?
A crofter was somebody who rented a small farm with a plot of land and living in a house on it. A tenant farmer who paid his tenancy with manpower instead of cash.
So what happens while roaming around in streets? One day he came across a house of a crofter who actually rented a small farm, okay, with a plot of land and living in a house, and a tenant farmer who paid his tenancy with manpower instead of cash. So the tenant who was there on his land used to give him something like the milk, instead of cash, like that. And then how was the crofter? Crofter was the first person whom he met, and the crofter was very lonely. He was without wife or child. He is the only one living there. And what happened? To the surprise of rat trap seller, he welcomed him to his house. He shared the supper, is a meal that they make of porridge. Porridge is dalia that you have in Hindi. And then he also shared tobacco, and he also played the game of Miolis. This Miolis is a game like rummy that we play with cards. Since he was lonely, he used to live there alone, and every day he used to earn, 10, 30 kronas. Like we have 10, 10, rupee note. So he had the 10, 10, 10 krona note, 3 krona note that he earned the previous day. And since he was lonely, he wanted a company. He welcomed the rat trap seller, and he offered him food, also porridge and tobacco also, and played also a game with him in order to pass his time also. So what happened? he was basically generous, and while playing game with him, he also shared all his. There are some people who actually have a habit of sharing everything, whatever they go through, because maybe because of their loneliness or any other reason. So he was also very generous, the crofter, and he also shares his, the secrets. He said that he is supported by his cows, and he said that last month, not last day, last month he got 30 kroner from creamery. So the 10 ends who were there, they had the creamery, and from there they earned, he earned 30 kroners, and he showed his guest also. Three 10 kroner notes were there, and then he showed him that money also in front of him only. He kept it in his wallet and hung it there on the wall. So what happens now? You look at the condition of rat trap seller. Now rat trap seller considered that amount to be a bait. Okay, he got caught again in the trap because he got attracted by the money that crofter showed him. Though he was very generous, he was very honest, he was very friendly, just because he was very lonely. So he shared everything just in the confidence, coming in confidence and thinking that he is a friend. So what happens? The next day morning, when he went to, to his farm, and he bid a goodbye to rat trap seller, and both of them, they went their own ways. But rat trap seller considered it to be a bait, did not go quite far. He came back again. He smashed the window, and he took that, opened that wallet which was hung near that window only from outside. He took those 30 kroner notes from there, put it in his pocket, stuffed it in his pocket, and went back. And then he really just got lost in a very big and confusing forest. He thought that if he would be going from the main way, he may be caught by police. So he decided to take the path of a forest because he stole that money. He found it as a bait, and he considered Cropper to be fool, sharing everything with him. And then he took that money and started moving. But he chose the way to go through forest, not through the main road. So he, while going through the forest, he literally got lost in big and very confusing forest. He was strangely, he found that the paths were strangely twisted and fraught. What happened? He was not able to find the way out to the main road, and then he had been walking around and around the same path, and again he was coming back to the same place. So he literally kept walking the whole day till night without food. He really got tired. He was very feeling very painful. The whole forest looked like a, an impenetrable prison. So he thought that now he has got completely lost. The forest has become impenetrable. I'm not able to find the way out of this forest. So maybe I am paying for the bad karma that I've done by stealing the money. I think I'm going to take my last breath here in this forest only. There would be nobody who'd come to save me from this now. So he thought it to be the end of his life, and he thought that the door of the rat trap has been closed to him. You understand now the philosophy that he had in his mind? Yes, he was thinking the whole world to be a big rat trap, and he also thought that this the world is a rat trap, and all the riches, all the money, everything that is seen around is just like a bait. But he never realized that he himself will soon be actually got caught in that, and by stealing the money, and by actually getting caught in that impenetrable prison, he really got tired till the evening. It was very cold. He did not find a way out. He was hungry. He was dog tired. And he thought that the doors of that rat trap is actually closed on him. So this he thought to be the uh, end of the story, or end of his life. So he thought that he has been befooled. He was caught by the bait. He increased gloom and despair in his own life. But there came a turning point. what did he do when he just lie down, being very impatient and being very painful? He just heard some sounds coming from nearby. And what was that? Actually, there was this iron mill near that forest, and that iron mill had tin roof. So because it was very cold and it started raining, so when the raindrops were falling on the tin roofs, he was able to hear that voice, and also he could see that something was happening inside there. So he could hear those noises, and he really got alert to know what it is. Okay, and then he found that there was a large plant with smelter, rolling mill. It was an iron mill. Okay, it was a forge. That is called a forge. Okay, so now this is this, and what was the name of that? The name is given on left hand side. If you see, it is Ramoso Iron Works. Okay, so the name of the mill was Ramoso Iron Works. If you read the text, you will come to know. How many of you have actually read the text before attending the class? Yes? No one? I don't see any
Ma'am,
hand.
I have read the summary.
Who
Ma'am, I
read?
have read
Anjali, you read from the text or the summary?
book.
Yes. It's always good if you read from the book, because the minute details are also told to you. Okay, now look at this. Smelting. Smelting is a process of applying heat to ore, no, in order to extract a base metal. So smelting was happening, rolling. It's a process in which melted metal pass through one or more pairs of rolls to reduce the thickness and to make the thickness uniform. Okay, so the concept is similar to the rolling of dough. So the rolling was done, smelting was done, and forging is a manufacturing procedure involving the shaping of metal. The blows are delivered with hammer, often a very power hammer. Okay, so that's how if you can see in the pictures also, there were big bellows. See, and how he was actually making the big blow, with the help of a hammer. So that's all were happening in the Ramoso ironwork near outside. And then you see shoveling charcoal, like it is put in the engine. So they were shoveling charcoal into the maw of the furnace. So all this work was happening when he went inside. And Iron Master arrives at the mill. So what happens? He went inside and he asked the blacksmith to actually, get some shelter for that night, because it was raining outside. It was very cold. He just wanted to take shelter for that night, and he wanted to go back the next day morning. The blacksmith, though, was not very interested to allow him to come inside, but then he just nodded. And then, getting the kind of permission from blacksmith, he came inside the iron mill, and in one corner near that heat where that the furnace was there, he just lied down, covering his face with his hat, because he was very tired. He did not want to get up, and he just wanted to have a place which had heat, a place which was covered, so that he could actually take rest for some time, because it was not possible for him to be outside in the forest, which had a threat of animals and cold waves, and it started raining also, and pangs of hunger. So there were a number of things which he was actually not very comfortable with. So he wanted to go in, even if the blacksmith was not very interested, but getting a little sign of his permission, he went inside and slept, kind of, keeping his hat on his face. And that night, the master smith, the iron master, the main person, the owner of that iron mill, came on nightly rounds, because every night, almost every night, he used to come for the survey, or just for the inspection. So that night also he came, and when iron master arrives at the mill, he did something. He mistook this tramp as his old comrade, because he was working in an army earlier, and he thought it to be his old friend who has actually been into this position, this condition, and his name was Nils Olof. His old friend in army, whose name was Nils Olof, he thought him to be like that because it was dark and he could not recognize him properly. He thought him to be like that, and he realized that maybe he has got, you see the picture, the condition of Nils Olof has been like this now, according to Ironmaster. Ironmaster thought him to be his old friend working in army together and has been into this condition, poor condition, maybe because of running short of funds or some other reason. So that's how it happened. And then, out of compassion or out of sympathy, he invited him to his manor house. Manor house means his own house. Okay. And this vagabond, he refused, thinking that it would be like voluntarily throwing himself into the lion's den. He was worried about the 30 kronas because he thought that if he goes with him, certainly he will be, caught by police, or maybe, somehow people would come to know that he's been staying there because he was a big iron master, and then staying there in that manor house would certainly bring his reality to everybody out, and then he'll be caught by police because he was running, stealing those 30 kroners. Okay, so that's how it happened. Now the story is going to take very interesting turn from here. That we'll discuss in the next class, but I want to get your input. So next class, when we start from here, you will be giving me your inputs, then only I'll be moving further. Okay, all of you are informed to read from the textbook, whether the e-textbook or the real textbook that you have, but please make sure that you read it and you share it with me before the next class. Is the story clear till here?
Yes, ma'am.
Is the story
Yes,
clear to
ma'am.
everyone?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. So in next class, we'll be moving further from here, but it will be continued with your inputs. Okay? And today, only 36 students are here. Only 36 will be marked present, out of which those who did not keep their videos on, they'll also be marked absent. Okay? So see you day after tomorrow with